Hello, it's been a while since I've made a video that wasn't a cover. I can't believe it took me this long to post a 4 years later coming out video, but I had to deal with a lot of things like visiting a mental health clinic because my thoughts were really spicy one night and I hadn't slept in 40 hours. That was a few weeks ago, so you don't need to worry about that. I had to deal with a lot of blemishes on my face, which was very insecure for me, which is why I couldn't post. So, yeah. I'm going to read a journal entry from 2018 after I almost got outed. So, here you go. Well, I've officially taken a dip into fiery hell. Aside from CVS caseworker coming to talk to me during lunch, I felt my hand on fire as I hit a mentally challenged classmate for asking if I was gay for my best friend, Mari. I know violence isn't the best way of handling things, but I wasn't ready to come out yet. I get the frequent haircuts and wardrobe change seems gender fluid, non binary, but I was just trying to support my brother and I had just learned these terms. My mind is considering self destructive behaviors and pulling out a 3-year-old suicide note. Truth is, I don't know what my sexuality is and I'm not ready to come out or say I might be queer. However, I do support the LGBTQ plus community and my trans brother, and that is all that matters to me. So take my middle finger up your butt, bully. Ha! And then December 5th, 2020. Well, we came out 6 months ago as gender fluid and bi. We go by Hayden and we had to send an apology letter to the person who tried to out me over a misunderstanding. And by that misunderstanding, I mean back in 2018. So in 2018, it had been 6 years before we came out. But no, 2 years before we had come out. The timeline thing's kind of confusing to me, so I apologize. So the misunderstanding was that, so I have a blog called Autism Bleeps where I posted a lot of tips to manage your depression, or basically it was like an online diary for me to share with people that I cared about. However, when I started talking about my second older brother who had abused me at a young age, to protect my brother, I used a different name. Anyways, my bully had decided to read some of my blogs and thought that my second older brother's fake name was them. But I didn't want to have to explain that to the bully, so I just wrote the apology letter, even though, well, I'm going to say it now. I didn't really mean a whole lot of the apology because this person was just dumb enough to think that I was writing about them when in reality I wasn't. And then, long story short, we might have to restart Autism Bleep's blog because this person thought I wrote about them when really I was documenting how I was healing from the abuser mentioned in my 6-year-old suicide note. It has now been 9 years since I wrote that note, and I have posted videos about reading that note as well as reading that note a year later. I do plan on reading that note at the 10 years later mark. So yeah. I came out 4 years ago because I had just gotten news from my grandma on my mom's side that she was dying. I wanted her to see who I could really be, not just who I was born as. So I came out as gender fluid and bi. In that video where I came out, I had to repost it because my channel got deleted on accident by my brother. Not the second oldest one, but my youngest brother. It's really funny having 3 brothers, honestly. So yeah, that was fun. Since coming out, I had decided at some point that non-binary suited me better than gender fluid because I could still say that I switch genders every other day or every day, but it seemed a whole lot nicer, if not easier, for me to bind a few days and then not bind other days. And then I sort of came out as trans like 2 years ago, but that video got deleted, so that was fun. And then last year, I actually considered detransitioning, even though I hadn't gone on testosterone yet, because my dad's not the biggest supporter. I don't think he'll ever be the biggest supporter. He said that he, him, and they, them were too difficult for him, so he just stuck with she, her for me. And then my second older brother found out about my dad's bigoted views about my pronouns and confronted my dad over a meal. Well, as the meal ended, is like, "So, Dad, I hear that you're calling Hayden by the wrong pronouns. Is this true?" I didn't think that he was going to do this, but yeah, my second older brother really just stood out for me that day. And then I tell my girlfriend about it, and she's like, "Oh my god, that's amazing. So, is your dad going to start using other pronouns?" And I'm like, "I'm hoping he does." However, due to a recent encounter with my dad, so my dad's a bit paranoid about leaving the door open. He's basically Mr. Water News from Monsters Incorporated. That's literally how I compare him to. And then he starts the whole misgendering, and I just stop listening. There's a chance I might be moving out of my parents' house. But again, I don't know yet entirely because I sort of just barely got a job, but I'm considering looking for a second job because I'm not getting as many days as I would hope to be. So that's cool, I guess. So when I had come out in that 4-year-old video, I had a boyfriend. I dropped him, by the way. I don't talk to him. I broke up with him, but he will say that he broke up with me, even though I did. I actually had screenshots of the conversation, but then the tablet that was used to make the screenshots broke, so I have no proof that I actually broke up with him. He's unblocked my account on Messenger, and I didn't know why, so I just archived his chat so I wouldn't see it. Because I'm too nice of a person to block him. So yeah. I am a bit happier than I was 4 years ago when I came out. mean, sure, I have to deal with the hates from my dad all the time, as well as have to deal with people making nasty comments on TikTok, but other than that, I'm okay. My girlfriend is trans and supports me. She's so excited for when I get to go on testosterone. We've gone to uh, Pride together. It wasn't the Great Utah Pride because she was out sick, but it was called Salt Lake Pride, a cheaper version of Utah Pride. And then we plan on going to Ogden Pride, which is in August. So yeah, um, that's how I'm doing. And I even did a little cute trans sketch of both me and my girlfriend. If I can find it, it's in this thing. Okay, it might be towards the back actually. Or it's not in this notebook. I own 3 composition books, and I seriously don't know why. But at the same time, I do know why. It's because I keep passwords in this one, and then I keep other journaling stuff in here. But I also journal in this one, so that's funny. My God, it's just so funny when you can't find shit. Okay, where the hell is it? I found it, but I kind of have to do it like this. Because my phone doesn't do the flippy around thing when you're filming. Sadly. But yeah. Hope you got a good image of it. Backwards, you can't really read it, but it says, "I deserve to exist" in trans colors, and then there's drawings of me and my girlfriend, in the proper gender roles that we identify with trans colors. So that's fun. Yeah, there's not a whole lot else for me to say aside from the fact that I'm trans and I'm also bisexual, but I also identify as queer. So, yeah. My artist name is still going to be NB Warrior because there are days where I don't identify as trans, and it would just be easier to say that I'm non-binary. So, yeah. My pronouns are he, him, and they, them. And if you need to figure out pronouns, because I probably didn't say it in a tone you liked, well, I have this pronouns. I have pronoun pins on my hat on the front and on the back. And oh yeah, I've been collecting all the pins on my hat for the last 3 years. Some of them are actually patches, like this heart one. I sewed it on myself, and then my ex's mother, she sewed that one on for me. So, yeah. And as for my covers, I keep them all in this little jar. I call it my song jar. My mom was like, "I don't know what a song jar is. I've never even seen it." Shows her, and she's like, "Oh, that." And I'm like, "Yeah, there's even a little question mark because I've, not question mark, check mark, because I've done some of the songs that are in here." So yeah. Have a good day. Stay slay.